So anyhow, Inverse not wasting any time though, going to try and take control of that center once again. Looks like while he did have control over it, it was just kind of a tenuous grip over it. So Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadiers recapping this munitions point over here on the right. Looks like this fuel is just about done. That does take quite a while sometimes. We do have a flare on the ground. Yes, there's the flare right now. And ooh, check that out. So he drops a flare and it looks like Inverse very wisely backs away from that flare, kind of wondering if rocket barrage or something is going to come in. But as you can see, there is no rocket barrage right now for Audemed, but not a bad instinct, honestly. If you know you're being revealed like that, just look out for sort of anything could happen, really. Meanwhile, we do have Wilson's Rifleman and another Rifleman squad, so 3 Rifleman squads up here just kind of moving around. Looks like Inverse is kind of beginning a light attack on the left, maybe. And check it out! We do have a Sherman tank on the field! Oh my god! Inverse skipping right to Tier 4, not wasting any time with anything like M8 Greyhounds or anti-tank guns or anything like that. He's just going to get out there with the tank, and you can already see these anti-tank guns by Audemed. You practically hear the Germans fighting. They're like, Schnell! Schnell! Schweiner! He really needs anti-tank guns in the front, so these guys just barely getting out in time to see a Sherman. Man, what a surprise. Sherman complete with 50 caliber machine gun on top of it. Taking a few pegs, though, from that anti-tank gun. Really going to have to get out of there. Wow, he's at like 5 or 10% hit points now. That tank is getting out of there. But talk about an aggressive opening here. So it looks like Inverse just wanted to go for the jugular, basically. Just, you know what, I'm going to go for the most aggressive play I can think of, which is take dominant control of the map, Browning automatic rifles. Check this out. Putting an obs point up on the fuel right now and just getting Shermans on the field. Just no buts about it. That is an aggressive opening. Audemed is seriously going to be challenged by that. It's very nice that he has this anti-tank gun and nice central control here, but with all of the Rifleman squads kind of prowling around here, very, very dangerous for Audemed right now. Oh, check out these Riflemen over here on the left. Looks like they discovered yet another crippling trap. Audemed has just got APM to burn. You can see he has no problem whatsoever taking full advantage of the crippling trap ability of this Pioneers whenever he can. Once again, super sneaky Wilson's Rifleman kind of sneaking through this munitions point. This high munitions point is really, really good to control, especially if you're the north player, because that should definitely belong to the southern player. But Wilson's Rifleman sneaking on in here, looks like decapping that victory point again, so now it is 2-0. Audemed is once again bleeding out. You can see, though, he does have both of these squads. He's got Katzenmeyer's and accomplished Volksgrenadiers kind of charging on in. And wisely, it looks like Wilson's Riflemen are retreating for the time being. They just wanted to kind of piss him off. Just kind of, this is harassment on the outskirts of his control right now. Not bad at all. Meanwhile, these Riflemen here grabbing this fuel point. So super, super aggressive fuel control here for Inverse. As you can see by the minimap, there are five fuel points on this map, kind of in a little pentagon shape here. So this one is the asymmetric one, but it does look like Audemed has, Inverse has 3 out of the 5 fuels at this point, and he does have one of them capped with this observation point. Good to note there. So looks like Inverse right now is just kind of redistributing his troops. He's got strong central control, and this is looking good. So the challenge here is for Audemed to figure out a way to bust out of it, and yes, he is going for a Panzer Command. He's not messing around too much either with early units. He knows that the stakes have been raised here a little bit, and that's not a bad idea. Panzer Command could be really good against an Armored Commander, depending on what the Armored Commander is doing, and this is definitely a nice, unique build here for Inverse. Wow! That was a humongous hand grenade. That hand grenade just took out 4 gentlemen there with infantry pillage active. That was a huge burst of income there for him. And ooh, look at that little speedy guy running off there. Looks like a single retreating unit there. Just kind of decided to hyper fast teleport. Meanwhile, Wilson's Riflemen are still remaining on the field here. It's very important to keep a strong presence in the field like that. I do like that. Looks like we have a little bit of the prepared Grenadiers kind of sneaking around up here trying to do some damage. Sherman tank, meanwhile, has made it all the way back. Was totally repaired. Note, by the way, Triage Center is up for Inverse, and Inverse is now back-teching to Tier 3, likely going to try and get an anti-tank guns or something to that effect, but we'll have to see where that's going to go. Meanwhile, it looks like the Sherman tank is charged with digging this machine gunner out of this building here. You can see killing one of them in the first shot, killing a second one, and now they are out and retreating, so that Sherman tank has driven away that machine gun team. Meanwhile, still strong central presence here for Audemed, and it looks like this anti-tank gun is still just kind of hanging out in the road, just kind of lying in wait for that tank. You can see doesn't really have line of sight of it yet. Riflemen moving around through the center here, and look at Inverse. Inverse has all of these mines throughout the center. That is really cool also. These guys taking green cover here behind these haystacks. I've never been sure why those haystacks are green cover, but hey man, that's kind of cool. So we do have just kind of attacking from all angles here. Inverse is just kind of constantly poking around, trying to see how he can squeeze his troops through without getting them suppressed by that machine gun. Sherman tank moving in, keeping its distance nicely. He knows that somewhere around here is an anti-tank gun. You can see Audemed is already moving it along, breaking camouflage even. Single Panzerschreck hitting the side armor of that Sherman tank. Meanwhile, just a lot of just general firefighting going on over here on the left. Accomplished Volksgrenadiers versus regular riflemen. Riflemen taking a couple of casualties there, though. And here we go. Here's that allied MG-42 now providing suppressing fire from across the battlefield. These mines yet to make contact with anybody, but still there. Similar mines here for Audemed. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, you can see that the field pioneers are recapping this desperately needed munitions point. But no, Inverse is not going to let that happen. You can see 2 squads, Browning automatic riflemen moving on in. Really going to threaten these guys. Let's see if they can get out of there without even taking a casualty. Yes, they do, and not wasting any time. Inverse is just going to recap that point. So really aggressive play by both players here right now. Taking a look around, you can see that Inverse's engineers, by the way, do have minesweepers, and they are repairing that tank on the fly. Heavy machine gun team and anti-tank gun. I like this combination here because really Inverse desperately wants to attack that anti-tank gun with his infantry. So definitely pairing the two of them together is a good move. And check it out. Once again, these really annoying riflemen here decap this victory point. So the score is currently tied 1-1 in terms of victory point control. And by the way, check it out. Audemed just went ahead and fired up his manpower blitz. And he's too low level to use heavy armor support, but it looks like he is pumping out a bunch of Panther tanks, and he's got a Kampfkraft Center going up right now. So this is not a hero Panther tank. This is just a straight up Panther tank. So obviously Audemed knows he needs to knock it up another notch, and looks like he's going to be going for vetted Panthers. That's a brilliant idea right now, especially with Shermans on the field and the threat of Calliopes and things like that. Panthers are the best answer that German players often have against armor commanders. But look at this! Look at this! Inverse is not going to take any gruff at all from the Germans on this side of the map here. You can see he kind of feigned a little bit of a retreat and then attacked with 2 squads, forcing Audemed to have to get out of there. Now Audemed is still constantly fighting over territory that really should be his own territory. And I like this. I like this. Inverse taking control of his own territory and then just making Audemed have to have the battle in his turf here. So taking a lot of casualties, but it doesn't matter. This is just a stall tactic, really. Still putting some suppressing fire in these Pioneers. Oh, and the Pioneer squad goes down. These guys have done their duty. They're getting out of there, but kind of overlapping his retreats, making sure these guys cover him. But no, nobody's retreating at all. 2 more squads of infantry now pouring into this munitions point, and I love this aggression. Once again, I'm just sure that Inverse understands that it's really important at this point in the game to keep the fighting happening on Audemed's side of the map. But lo and behold, is Audemed going to reveal his hand here? You can see he's already completed. Oh, look at this heavy crush just trimming the hedges there. He's already completed his Vet 1 for his tanks. And Audemed does have control over the center, so it is 2-1 right now in favor of Audemed. But once again, still being harassed here in the back lines. Inverse is still picking off units here, and now picking off command points rather. And now we do have a whole bunch of squads from Audemed moving on over to the left-hand flank. So meanwhile, it looks like the double Panthers are now moving on up. They have revealed themselves. Wow, I think maybe even killing that machine gun team in there. Yes, they did. I don't see any units retreating on the minimap. Looks like they took that out completely. 1 kill here and 2 kills there. Yep, that's a machine gun squad. So strong central control. Here's big fighting going on over here on the left right now. You can see we do have infantry pillage currently active for Audemed. Audemed just kind of fighting it out, not really risking capping this victory point under fire. Inverse taking good... Wow, another nice-looking hand grenade there. Hand grenade from Wilson's Rifleman, taking out 3 of these gentlemen. But Wilson's Rifleman taking some casualties. Oh my god, be careful! Oh, Wilson's Rifleman running away. But that's fine. So, Prepared Grenadiers, Katzmar's Roguish Grenadiers, kind of winning the combat at this point. I really want to see Audemed split these guys up, but clearly, oh my god, huge attack up north by the Panthers, and this is very risky. It looks like the first Panther, oh my god, first Panther happens to have hit a mine, has a damaged engine, and now both Panthers are stickied. Oh my god, I think this could be a humongous blunder by Audemed right now. He is completely, I mean not completely immobile, but he is definitely slowed down. We do have a very banged up Sherman tank up here that is currently being repaired, but these guys are just stuck way too close to Inverse's base. Double sticky bombs up once again, and now the anti-tank guns are coming out. You can see he's dropping a flare here, but really to no avail. I think Audemed is trying to say, you know what, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me, and turning the aggression back on that anti-tank gun, but it's just not going to happen. First Panther goes down. Second Panther here is shooting away at this Vet 2 Sherman tank right now. Third sticky bomb on this poor Panther being picked off once again. You can see that it looks like the Prepared Grenadiers moving on up, trying to support this tank a little bit, but that was a huge blunder by Audemed right now. It looks like Inverse is cashing in on that. Vet 2 Sherman still having some trouble picking away at this thing. And will this anti-tank gun get yet another shot? It does, but it bounces off of the front armor. Looks like being a little bit cautious there. Inverse backed away with his own tank. And meanwhile, Prepared Grenadiers getting really kind of toasted there and having to retreat. Looks like finally some support for these tanks is arriving. We do have the accomplished Volksgrenadiers trying to put a lot of crossfire onto these infantry right now. Infantry trying to get a sticky bomb. Will the sticky bomb destroy the tank? No, it just destroys the engine. It's very, very difficult to destroy a tank with a sticky bomb, but not that hard at all to damage an engine or even destroy an engine. We do have double anti-tank guns out here right now for Inverse. That is a very wise move. And honestly, I'm really impressed with that. You don't often see a lot of this, kind of parry, thrust, point, counterpoint kind of build orders in Coho. A lot of times it's just kind of Rochambeau with I go my build order, you go your build order, and we see who wins. But this time it looks like Audemed went straight for tanks. Kind of baited, Inverse went straight for tanks, baited Audemed into going for Panthers, and then Inverse instantly back-teched to anti-tank guns. I love this kind of theory crafting. You can see here that he knows that they're kind of countering their counters of each other. So really now, advantage kind of goes to nobody. I mean, Inverse does not have control over the map right now, but he definitely has the units he needs to beat this battle. And if you check it out right now, Inverse is just kind of staring out of his base, anti-tank guns akimbo, overlapping fields of fire, just kind of daring another armor assault like that. You can see it looks like Audemed's troops were moving up, but hit that one landmine, got pinned a little bit, and now are having to retreat. So anti-tank guns akimbo. Inverse now is deciding to finally leave his base here and try and see if he can regain control over the middle of this map. So, meanwhile, you can see sticky bombs, by the way, have been researched for Inverse. So Inverse has likely got a bunch of upgrades going here. And at this point in the game, you can see Audemed is level 6. I want to take a look at Inverse and see where he's at. Audemed is level 7, so it is time, if he so chooses, it is time for him to start getting Calliopes and Pershings and that sort of thing. You can see here that his Sherman tank here is still getting repaired. Vet 2 in the back of his base. He's holding on to some money right now. Sherman Calliope would definitely be awesome at this point in the game. The best way, basically, to defend your Sherman Calliope is with a whole bunch of anti-tank guns. And so the fact that he can kind of prevent those Panthers from doing any more damage to him, putting him in good positions here. So, wow. So a little bit of a pause in the battle here. I'm going to take a look around and see what Audemed is building here. Audemed, it looks like, still building more Panthers, and I just saw for a second there was an Ostwind in the queue, but it looks like he's not going to do that. You can see at this point in the game, Audemed is continually casting Manpower Blitz. Manpower Blitz gives you 1,000 manpower, but then it reduces your income until the cooldown wears off. So it's kind of addictive in the sense that, like, after Manpower Blitz is done cooling down, you usually don't have a lot of income, so you kind of have to use it again. But it does lead to big bursts of income. So here we have the Panther now, kind of staring down this Vet 2 Sherman. This is a Vet 1 Panther. No more veterancy yet by Audemed, but I'm going to keep an eye on Inverse right now. And yes,